If the Tennessee Titans want to beat the Indianapolis Colts, they need to let Levis sling it. That and more on today's edition of Locked On Titans.
You are Locked On Titans, your daily Tennessee Titans podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the Locked On Titans podcast. I am your host, Tyler Rowland. Titans fans, today's edition of the Locked On Titans podcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet, and you're going to get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. On today's show, we are going to preview the Titans' Week 6 matchup with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go over my keys to victory for the team. I'm also going to look at some individual matchups to watch, and then I'll give you my game and score predictions. Before we get into it, I do want to thank you for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen each and every day. Remember, Monday through Friday, Tennessee Titans content all year round, always for free. You're not going to beat that anywhere else. Make sure that you get subscribed, stay subscribed. It's your team every day. Speaking of every day, shout out to my everydayers out there tuning in Monday through Friday. If you aren't an everydayer, you need to be one. I'm going to be going live immediately after the game finishes here on the Locked On Titans YouTube channel. And I have a ton of content breaking down the game going forward next week. And then the Titans play an away game against the Buffalo Bills in Week 7. I'll get you ready for that one as well. Before we get started, make sure that you throw a thumbs up on the video, throw a tighten up down in the chat. With that being said, I'm going to start with my keys to victory in this game. And I said it at the top of the show, and I know that some of you are probably cringing a little bit, but the Titans just need to let Levis throw it deep. All right? They need to let Will Levis be Will Levis. For this game, with his shoulder is okay. I don't think it's too big of a deal. But at the end of the day, Will Levis is somebody who wants to be aggressive and he wants to drive the ball deep down the field. So let him throw it deep. Gus Bradley's defense, the defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts, is a cover 3 base defense, which means you're going to have pseudo one-on-one matchups on the outside. You're going to have outside cornerbacks playing deep third. I'm letting Will Levis chuck the ball down the field against this bad group of cornerbacks for the Indianapolis Colts. Their safeties have been okay this year. Their linebackers have been okay this year, but it's the cornerback position where the Colts really, really struggle. And I want to see Will Levis just do Will Levis stuff. And I know that some of you are like, well, we know what that looks like, but I'm just saying last year, I feel like Will Levis wasn't as focused on, I got to be quick. I got to get the ball out of my hands. Oh, it's a timing. It's a rhythm offense, blah, blah, blah. He was just like, screw it. I'm going deep. We can't run a down-to-down offense in that way. I'm just going to chuck it deep. And when you have, Jalen Jones, an outside corner, he's been okay. But Samuel Womack, who is that? You know what I mean? And we don't know if Kenny Moore is going to be back. I think he's going to be back, but Chris Lamons could be out there. David Long, and not the David Long although the David Long that may be a better cornerback than the David Long that may actually play for the Colts. The point is, the Colts have been just absolutely leaking water at their cornerback position the entire season. I mean, it was a terrible, terrible cornerback position going into the season as well. So no one can be shocked except, I guess, Chris Ballard. But I'm just saying, let's not attack over the middle of the field. Let's not play these games with these quick, short passes where Levis has to read it. Just call the deep routes and let Levis throw it deep. I mean, Indianapolis's pass defense has given up the 4th most yards in the entire NFL. They've given up 1,311 yards and 8 touchdowns. I mean, I just don't want Will Levis to have to use his head too much in this one. Just let him chuck it. And if you don't complete it, you probably get some pass interference calls. DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley are far better and more talented players than the Colts cornerbacks. So just attack. Just let Will Levis be aggressive down the field, use his arm strength, and just let him attack. That's what I want to see from the Titans. That's my first key to victory on the offensive side of the ball. But on the defensive side of the ball, for similar reasons, I want to see the Titans play a ton of man coverage. A ton. And you know why? Because the Colts might not have either of their 2 best wide receivers. Michael Pittman for sure is going to be out. He went on IR with a back injury. And then Josh Downs who I was scared about when I started prepping for this game because Josh Downs over the middle on the Titans linebackers and coverage, boy, that is a terrifying thing to think about. But Josh Downs missed practice on Wednesday and Thursday. Josh Downs might not even play in the game. So you're telling me that Michael Pittman and Josh Downs are not going to play? So all they have is Alec Pierce and Adonai Mitchell, the rookie. Look, Mitchell, I think is going to be a good player, but he has played like a sissy these first couple of weeks, no doubt about it. And the coaches are getting asked. Reggie Wayne, the wide receiver coach for the Colts, yes, it's that Reggie Wayne, is being asked, like, why is Mitchell shying away from contact? They're like, why has Mitchell been shying away from contact so much? And he said, oh, he'll be fine, which is an admission that that's what he's doing. Go watch on the tape. Adonai Mitchell was scared to get hit. All right. And then on the other side, I admit certainly that Alec Pierce has played well. He has, for sure. He has. But do I think that Alec Pierce is all of a sudden Justin Jefferson, Randy Moss, Mike Evans, or something like that? No. No, I don't. Okay? I do not. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be scared of the Colts wide receiver weapons. I'm going to play man coverage. All right? What I would do personally, I would put L'Jarius Sneed on A.D. Mitchell. I would tell him, get physical with this soft rookie. He's soft. A.D. Mitchell is soft. So, L'Jarius, get in his face like a bulldog that you are. Bam. One-on-one, you two, have at him. And then on the other side, I would have Jarvis Brownlee Jr. play man coverage on Alec Pierce, and I would have a safety over top. So I'm running cover one man with my deep safety shaded towards Alec Pierce, who is the best deep threat for the Colts so far this year. And then Roger McCreary gets to play man against who? Ashton Doolin, Anthony Goud. What are we? If we can't win those matchups, we don't deserve to win anyways. So put Sneed on Mitchell and bully the rookie. And then you put Jarvis Brownlee Jr. with safety shade over top on Alex Pierce to prevent the deep ball. And then you let Roger McCreary take whoever they want to put in the slot. And you have Amani Hooker as the robber in zone, come down over the middle. And then I'll put linebacker on running back, linebacker on tight end. Let's go at it. Let's go. And I think this could be a week where Jamal Adams could feasibly get some more snaps. Let him play one-on-one against these running backs out of the backfield in man coverage. Why not? It's Jonathan Taylor's not going to play. It's Trey Sermon. It's Tyler Goodson. If Jamal Adams can't cover those guys, then just cut him and end this already. So I'm playing man coverage because the Titans have the more talented players. And I'm throwing it deep because the Titans have the more talented players. And then finally, Will Levis is going to play in this game, folks. So I'm going to make the same third key to victory I've had every single game since week one. No stupid mistakes. No massive mistakes from Will Levis. Just don't be an idiot. Just don't have another meme-worthy mistake. That's all that we're asking. And if they do that, the Titans are going to win the game. But there are individual battles within this game that I am looking at. A big one is a rookie-on-rookie battle. J.C. Latham, time for you to step up and win big time like you have been the last month of the season. We're going to talk about that now. Before we do, though, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by Robin Hood Gold. With Robin Hood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robin Hood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for high society. Now, with the resourceful individual with Robin Hood Gold can earn a very liberal rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash, receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses, and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on their IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the easiest and most fun way to play daily fantasy sports. That's why over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings have been sent out. Prize Picks makes daily fantasy sports accessible for all. All you got to do is pick more or less with at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. For example, you pick 2 to 6 players, Justin Jefferson, 83.5 receiving yards, Patrick Mahomes, 265.5 passing yards, Tyreek Hill, 97.5 receiving yards, Saquon Barkley, 67.5 rushing yards. All you do is pick 2 to 6 players and say whether those players are going to do more or less. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download Prize Picks today. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Titans fans, let's continue today's game preview edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. Talked about my keys to victory for the Titans. Let me know your keys to victory down below. Now I want to get into my players to watch in this game. And at the end of the show, I'm going to give my predictions on what I think the score will be, my fantasy players of the week, how I would bet this game. A lot more coming up. Before we get into it, thank you again for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen each and every day. It's your team every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. But with that being said, my number one player to watch in this one is J.C. Latham, the rookie left tackle who has been absolutely fantastic, honestly. Through the first 4 games of the season, only 1 sack allowed for Latham, only 9 pressures allowed. 5 of those pressures were allowed in week 1. The sack was allowed in week 1 against Darrell Taylor, who really beat the pants off of J.C. Latham in that game. But every game since, Latham has been fantastic. And this week, he's going to get a matchup with another rookie, a guy who was taken just a couple of picks after him. Edge rusher out of UCLA, Laiatu Latu. All right. And J.C. Latham just has to hold it down. J.C. Latham cannot be the problem, and he certainly can't lose a battle with another rookie. After I saw J.C. Latham completely shut down Preston Smith of the Green Bay Packers, I was like, my Atlanta, man. My Atlanta. This guy can really play. Like, this is a good matchup, and he dominated it, quite honestly. So, to me, the Titans' rookie left tackle has to dominate the Colts' rookie edge rusher. And another big part of it is the lack of talent that the Colts have otherwise. Kwity Paye, out. DeForest Buckner, out. I mean, Samson Ebukam, out. Like, the Colts are missing so many players on their defensive front that there really is just no excuse whatsoever for the Titans to allow a bunch of pressure this week. Like, there's just no excuse for it. So, to me, I mean, Dio Adangbo, good player. Grover Stewart is a really good player, but he's more of a run stopper than anything. So, to me, if J.C. Latham can hold down Latu, again, that should give the Titans enough time to throw deep, which was one of my keys to victory for the offense. So, it all kind of plays together, but I need a big performance out of J.C. Latham to continue to prove that he's a franchise left tackle. The next player to watch in this one for me is Calvin Ridley. And again, it all comes together. It all molds together, right? I'm talking about throwing deep. I'm talking about the offensive line, having the opportunity to give the offense time to make things happen. And you look at Calvin Ridley, you know, the first 2 weeks of the season, the numbers weren't gaudy, but Calvin Ridley was making a big impact for the Titans. I mean, the very first game of the year, he has 3 catches for 50 yards. and Levis missed him a couple of times. Second game of the year, 4 catches for 77 yards, a touchdown, has the rushing touchdown on the jet sweep as well. Could have had another long catch with the drop that he had in that one for another touchdown. So Ridley was making a huge impact early on, but since then, he's only had 3 touches and 6 targets total for 24 total yards. Now, some people want to blame that on Calvin Ridley. I'm not. I'm blaming that on the coaching staff for not getting him more involved. Now, I get it in Miami, and Titans offensive coordinator Nick Holtz talked about this. Miami, they just wanted to run the air out of the ball. They knew that they weren't going to lose if they just ran the ball the entire second half. So what's the need to get it to Calvin Ridley or DeAndre Hopkins? Why do you even got to do that? But in this game, the Colts are going to score points. They're not playing the JV Miami Dolphins. They're not playing the Jets crap, which the Jets put Todd Hackett as their play. Todd Hackett. That's funny. Todd Downing. They replaced Nathaniel Hackett with Todd Downing to be their play caller, and just, man, going from Nathaniel Hackett to Todd Downing. Poor Jets fans. Poor guys over there. Guys and gals of the Jets nation. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, the Jets are crashing. That's all I know. A little pun for you guys there. But the Colts offense is going to score more than some of the offenses the Titans seen week 1 of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams really turning it around, which makes sense. Rookie quarterback, first game, all of that. But, like, it's going to be more of a challenge on the Titans defense than they have faced before so far this year. So they're going to need to score some points as well. And Calvin Ridley should absolutely roast any of the cornerbacks that we talked about earlier when we talked about attacking deep against the Colts. So Ridley needs to be a big-time player in this game, and the coaching staff needs to make sure that they're scheming up touches for him and getting him involved early as well. That's a big part of it. It's not just on Ridley. It's on the coaching staff to set him up to be successful as well. And against this cover 3 defense, I want to see some crossers across the field where you have a deep, clear route on one side that clears the cover 3 deep third, and then Calvin Ridley on the crosser over the middle into the pocket. I want to see that. I want to see Calvin Ridley on go routes. I want to see Calvin Ridley on stop routes as well in one-on-one coverage. Again, it's cover 3, but when you're the outside cornerback, you're basically in one-on-one with the outside receiver if he presses vertical. So I think that Calvin Ridley should just absolutely go nuts in this game. And then the final player that I'm watching, and I'll tell you, I made a change late in my process on this one. I had Roger McCreary originally as my player to watch, my third and final player to watch, because I thought Josh Downs would be playing in this game. And the only player that I was truly worried about was Josh Downs over the middle. So Roger McCreary in man coverage against Josh Downs is something that I was looking at. But with Josh Downs most likely missing this game, L'Jarius Sneed. Again, if L'Jarius Sneed completely locks down Adonai Mitchell or Alec Pierce, if that's what they decide to do, I mean, if L'Jarius Sneed locks down his side of the field and his matchup, then the Titans can help over the other wide receiver with Jarvis Brownlee Jr. with a safety, and then they can have their other safety help over the middle of the field with the running back and the linebacker and the slot, the running back and the tight end and the slot receiver. So I would like to see Quandre Diggs back deep helping Jarvis Brownlee Jr., and then I would like to see Amani Hooker over the middle of the field helping with everybody else, reading the quarterback's eyes. That's what I would like to see from the Titans. And with Anthony Richardson looking like he's going to play in this game, he was a full participant in practice on Thursday, I am far less worried about, Richardson dicing him up over the middle of the field like Joe Flacco would do. I'm much less worried about that. So L'Jarius Sneed needs to be absolutely locked down in his matchup, and the Tennessee Titans have a great chance to win this game. But now I'm going to make my predictions for this game, what I think will happen, fantasy, gambling, all of that. Can't wait to dive in. Before I do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Titans fans, yes, I'm talking to you, Titans fans. You can start the second quarter of the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can go on FanDuel, check the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same exact page where you place your bets. And right now on FanDuel, you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Now, I'm getting ready to go into keeping it plus 100 to tell you guys exactly how I would bet this game and what I would be looking for. So if you're into that, make sure that you go to America's #1 sportsbook. It's FanDuel. Check out FanDuel.com. Fans, let's cap off today's game preview edition of the Locked On Titans podcast. We talked about my keys to victory for the entire team. We talked about my matchups to watch in this game as well. Now I want to get into some of my predictions for this game. I'll start with the score, hit fantasy, hit gambling as well. Before we do, thanks again for making the Locked On Titans podcast your first listen. Now for your second listen, check out Locked On NFL. You get all your Titans news here with me in under 30 minutes every day. Now get all your NFL news with me over at the Locked On NFL podcast. It's your team every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network. But, I said this online on Twitter at Tic Tac Titans, if you want to follow me there. But everything in this game points to a Titans win. Everything. Titans are at home. Titans are coming off a bye. Anthony Richardson's going to play. Make no mistake, that helps the Titans' chances to win, not hurts. I'd be more worried about Joe Flacco. The Colts defense is god-awful. It's terrible. You heard Zach Hicks in yesterday's Crossover Thursday. He sounded like me out here. He's so disgusted by the Colts defense. Also, the Colts are super banged up. They're going to be without Jonathan Taylor. They're going to be without Michael Pittman. They're going to be without Josh Downs. They're going to be out without DeForest Buckner, without Kwity Paye, without Sebson Ebukam, without Will Fries. Braden Smith is banged up at right tackle. Like, they are missing so many players. All of that. The Titans have won their last 8 games coming out of a bye. All of that. The Titans defense is really, really good. That helps. Everything that I can possibly think of points to a Tennessee Titans victory. And that's why I'm so scared. And that's why, ultimately, I think the Titans lose. I think the Titans lose this game in a high-scoring matchup, 27-24. Will Levis makes a big mistake at the end of the game and gives the Colts the ball, and that allows them to win the game. Everything about this game says that the Tennessee Titans should win. Every single aspect, every single data point, every single anecdotal piece of evidence says that the Tennessee Titans will win this game. And I have learned, after being a fan for 25 years of this franchise and covering this team in depth for 6 seasons now, I have learned that that's when the Titans lose. That's when I think the Titans are more likely to beat the Bills and the Lions than they are to beat the Colts. Why? Because they should beat the Colts. And they should lose to those teams. But the Titans you can never trust the Titans. The Titans are a franchise that you cannot trust to handle their business. They simply don't come through when they need to come through. They never do. So everything about this game says the Titans should win. And that is why I don't think they will. It's that simple. Let me know what you think the score of this game will be. Now I want to talk a little bit of gambling. All right. We hit up FanDuel. It's FanDuel Friday. Keeping it plus 100. The line for this game changed a big time. The Titans were originally home underdogs, plus 1.5. And since then, the line has moved 3 points to where the Titans are now 2.5-point favorites at home. I think a lot of that has to do with injuries for the Colts, but also Anthony Richardson playing. The Colts are a better football team with Joe Flacco at quarterback. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So I told you that I think the Titans lose the game. So obviously, Colts getting points. If you could put them in a teaser, to get them up to 8.5. There is no way the Titans are beating the Colts by more than 8. No way. Not a chance. 0. So Colts in a teaser is an absolute lock. But if you're asking just what I would play generally in this game, I like the over. I like the over in this game. I think there's going to be points in this game. Again, 27-24 is my prediction. So that is 51 points. I think that the over is a ticket in this game. And I've hit it myself. I'm not going to lie to you. I hit it myself. I love the over in this game. Now, moving to a little bit of fantasy. My beautiful, dark, twisted fantasy player of the game. I'm going with Will Levis. Will, if you need to stream a quarterback this week, or you're in a deep league, or you're in daily fantasy, I would pair Calvin Ridley with Will Levis. Let me just do this real quick. William Donovan, look at me. I know you listen to the show, Will. I know it. I'm kidding, but anyways, Will, please just go out there and beat Anthony Richardson. If you can go out there and play better than Anthony Richardson, I know, dude. I know. What has happened the first 4 games has sucked. It sucks. I know that you're hurt by it too. I know that your confidence is a bit rattled. It has to be. I get it, man. I get it. I do. But if you can go out there in this game, get the Titans a win, get them to 2-3, get the Titans to second place in the division, and look better than Anthony Richardson, who was picked 30 picks ahead of you, every single Titans fan will levitate out of that building. We will be high for weeks off you crushing Anthony Richardson and looking better than him. At the end of the day, dude, that's all we want. We just want you to be better than him. That's it. So please, Will, please go out there and be better than Anthony Richardson. That's all we're asking for. And I believe that you can do it, buddy. I believe that you can do it. One game, you can do it. All right. With that being said, folks, I got a special short video coming out for you guys on Friday morning. Some of you will still not be happy. I don't really care. But some of you will have fun with it and accept it for what it is. And I think it'll be pretty fun. So I got a special little video coming out on Friday morning. It'll be in my shorts section on YouTube. If you want to see it, it will be a social media thing. So follow me on Twitter at TicTacTitans. It's not really going to be an audio thing. It's going to be a true video. So hope you guys will check that out at TicTacTitans. It'll be on my Instagram, Locked On Titans, Facebook, Locked On Titans, TikTok Titans. So check that out because it's going to be fun. But anyways, I'll be back with you guys on Sunday. I'll be live after the game. Will, you can do this, Will. You can do this, Will. You can do it. All right. With that being said, that's going to do it for me today, folks. Get subscribed, stay subscribed, thumbs up on the video, tighten up down in the chat. As always, I am your host, Tyler Rowland, and this was Locked On Titans.